huge part of who I am, I think, has to do with where I come from and where I was raised, which was in Oakland. My parents moved there when I was very young. I was like 3 years old. And then my parents split up. So I actually mostly grew up with my mom in Oakland. My mom's non-native. But in Oakland, there is one of the oldest urban Indian community centers in the country. It's called the Intertribal Friendship House. It's still in the same place it's always been, on International Boulevard in East Oakland. It's been there since the 50s. And um, especially after my dad sort of wasn't in the picture for a while there as a kid, it was incredibly meaningful for me to have that connection to, Indian country and to our culture via the Intertribal Friendship House. So we used to go there all the time. They'd have drum and dance practice on Thursday nights, and they'd have all sorts of different little community functions and feeds and all sorts of things. And I remember when I was a little kid, I was super shy and reluctant to go out and dance. So I'd sit on. There was a woman named Grandma Wakazu who was kind of like the matriarch of the community. She was part of the original sort of relocation generation, and I'd sit on her lap during drum and dance practice because I was too scared to go out and dance. And then eventually, I got the courage to go out there, and now I still travel the powwow circuit. So that was a huge part of my upbringing. And then the other thing that was really big in Oakland was the memory of the occupation of Alcatraz, and that sort of generation of Native activism in the late 60s and early 70s was a huge part of the community's memory. And some of our closest family friends, people who I consider family, like Eloy Martinez, participated in the Alcatraz occupation and played a very significant role in maintaining the memory of the occupation at Alcatraz. So, for example, Eloy did this really incredible thing where he brought back some of the children of the original occupiers to repaint the slogans that were left on Alcatraz. And so, if you go visit Alcatraz Island today, you'll see that they're very, it says Red Power, and it says, Indian property, and all these sort of different messages left on the island. And that was because he facilitated making that happen. So that was a huge part of my upbringing as well. And I remember every Thursday night when I was a little kid, they would sing the American Indian Movement song at the end of drum and dance practice. So at the end of drum and dance practice, everybody would gather around the drum, and they'd sing the AIM song. And so it was really, shown to us through so many different ways in our community that this was an important part of our history and something that we should be proud of, and that's something we should carry forward. And I see that as still deeply impacting and shaping what I do today, for sure.